In this video, we will discover cold and hot pixel for our study area. Prior to that, once again, I recommend you to watch the theoretical part of the video at the beginning of the course and also read the manual, SEBAL manual. If you remember that cold pixel must be located in well-watered irrigation field for the study area. Meanwhile, the hot pixel must be located in a dry harvested agricultural field. Cold pixel must have the maximum amount of transpiration for the area. Meanwhile, the hot pixel must have evapotranspiration close to zero. This is my study area and this is my farms, the location of my farms. So I need to choose this cold and hot pixels close to this area, so within this area. So I don't know what is your study area, but you need to research your study area and find the appropriate locations for cold and hot pixels. It is not hard, but it requires some skills and knowledge, theoretical background. I imported this my shape file from assets for my farms. You need also to just click to the satellite image because you will search from satellite images. Let's search for cold pixels. So it should be well-watered irrigation. So we can see here that these areas, in general, my study areas are desert, so there is no sufficient amount of well-watered irrigation in deserts. But there are some agricultural practices in Dubai nowadays. Or we can find this cold pixel in a location or in an area land use class which might closely resemble well-watered irrigation. For instance, it can be a field, football field or a golf field which is well-watered throughout the year, full of green, covered by grass. So we can see that these areas are green and also well watered because in deserts any greenery should be watered on a daily basis, or otherwise it will become dry. So we can see that these areas are not badly represented, but let's search for other parts as well. Probably we should search for areas closer to this shapefile. So we can see that this is a field of well-watered irrigation, well-watered field. Probably, I don't know what kind of fields this can be. It doesn't look like a football pitch. Or this area, also good. See that it's well watered, it's full of greenery, and it has some channels throughout which channels or garden hoses with which they just water the area. So this might be a good location for our cold pixel. So I choose here this point and I click to this place. So let's go to properties and I will rename it to cold. it will be a geometry, and I can change the color to blue one and click OK. So see that it automatically imported this cold pixel with the location, its precise location. See, in longitude and latitude, very precise. And now it's time to search for a hot pixel. So hot pixel must be a dry agricultural field which has a very small or absent amount of vegetation covered, and a very small amount of water. So there are also can be several options we can choose from here, but these areas are mixed with urban, therefore I prefer to search for another place. So we will search for an area which has very sparse amount of vegetation, but some amount of vegetation and very just limited amount of water supply for this area. So these areas are also suitable. See that there is a sparse amount of vegetation. Probably it's also can be considered as agricultural field, harvested. It looks like agricultural field. See, let's search for other places. You must not choose from the desert. If your study area located in a desert, you should read from SEBAL. Why? You don't need to do this, because otherwise if you will choose from a completely dry desert sand, the location for for your hot pixel, even areas which has almost absent amount of evapotranspiration will have in your final output some amount of evapotranspiration in this case. Therefore, it is recommended to choose from very sparse amount of vegetation with very limited amount of water supply. So I think that this is not bad location for your hot pixel for my study area. So see, there is a very sparse amount of vegetation, and there is a very limited amount of evapotranspiration, because everywhere where there is some amount of vegetation, it should be also some amount some amount of evapotranspiration. In this case it's very small, but it's not a bad location for your sorry, I forgot to click to new layer, but okay, let's rename it to now hot. I will change the player color. So this is our hot pixel, and I click to new layer now. I rename it to cold. I will just choose from another color, and let's return back to my there is two locations. Let's delete this one. So cold, once again this one, and I again choose, click to new layer, hot, and let's return to our location for sparse for hot pixel. This one is not bad location for hot pixel. So cold and hot pixel locations are now identified. So this is my longitude and latitude for cold pixel, and this is for hot pixel. So you can save it, this script. So it doesn't have a script, but you can save it within your this file within your SEBAL folder, because you will need this longitude and latitude for cold and hot pixels later on during the development of SEBAL model. So I click to save. I name it a file cold and hot. So my locations for cold and hot pixels are identified.